You ever had an unhappy? Welcome in, everybody. Hello, hello. We're talking CFB. Forgive me. I'm just trying to finish up some breakfast. It's been a busy morning. A lot of potential of value that has popped up this morning. Florida has now come into to a spot. Wake Forest at 24 has come into value. West Virginia at 3.5 is also a potential over at yeah, it's still there. There's some lazy 3.5s that are still there. Iowa, we're on Iowa. The market has moved against us now. It's mostly due to uncertainty at the quarterback position. YT, I'm going live both on here and on TikTok. So if you have questions, please put them in the chat and I will address them. I can give out a forecast for any play today, as long as it's FBS on FBS. So let me know your questions. There's no such thing as trap lines. Remember, you are betting into a market. So when you see a line move against the public, all it is just professionals betting the opposite side because that's their opinion. It has no nefarious like trap, reverse line movement. None of these things are real. There's no such thing as a trap by sports books. They can't set a trap. The market is fully run by liquidity and professionals. So if there was an error in the market, it would get bet by professionals and it would move. So just FYI, that's not a thing. But you want Auburn. Auburn, we make the number +2. So no, we forecast that that's an accurate line. Army +14. Our model is going to fall. I don't want to say fall short, but I can tell you the shortcomings with our model for Army specifically and any of the armed forces. The talent numbers that we use come from 24/7 rosters, and they have a 0 talent score for all the armed forces. What this does is it artificially lowers their forecasts. So we have Notre Dame winning by 24. I don't really believe that number. I think Army is a bit better than that. When we regress that number to the market, we make it 16. So, you know, I would stay away from it personally. Arkansas, interesting move. I really don't support the move from 22 all the way to 24, now sitting at 23.5. We make this number 22. The raw number is 18.5 for Louisiana Tech. I think if you were on the other side of that 24, you definitely are going to get some value. Shout out to the people here on the live on the YT. Put your comments, questions in the chat, and I will get to them. And I'm also live over here on TikTok, so that's who I'm reading. Wisco thoughts. We're on Wisconsin +2.5. Market has agreed with us, now sitting at -1 for Nebraska. We make this number -7 in favor of Wisconsin. When we regress to the market, we make this number -2 Wisconsin. So we think Wisconsin has some value. We have a position in that game. The ones that moved against us that are now more value than they were earlier in the week is Virginia +10.5. We have a 10. So there's better value there. Is this A&M similar to the line against South Carolina and they lost big? Yeah, I wouldn't really be results oriented like that. That's a poor way to forecast. Texas A&M, Auburn, we make the number -2. So that's our opinion on that. Which undefeated dog today is the better play, Army or Indiana? Quite frankly, neither. I really wouldn't play either, or my model doesn't support a play in either of those. It would actually lean towards the favorite in both of those. UTSA, they played yesterday, didn't they? Thoughts on Michigan this year? Really stacked talent. Why I think Indiana will struggle today is exactly why Indiana struggled against Michigan. Michigan is a roster of 4- and 5-star recruits, pretty much only. Ohio State is going to be the same thing, but mostly 5-star recruits. Indiana struggled against a regressing or a building, if you want to call it a rebuilding year for Michigan, where they aren't that good. They weren't nearly as good as they were last year, but they have as much talent as they did last year. And I think because of that, you're going to see a drop off in talent from Indiana here. I think they're going to have more trouble, if not, or as much trouble, if not more trouble than they did with Michigan. Can they cover? Sure. Can they win? Of course. It's only a 10-point spread. Obviously, the injury at offensive line for Michigan State plays a huge role in, I think, the movement from 13.5 early in the week to sitting at 10. But I think it's an unknown, thing. It's really hard to quantify. So, I think that's where the move comes from. Let's get the likes going, guys. 65 likes is not going to cut it. Let's get to 5K. Oregon, terrible. All right, Notre Dame. We don't have a play in that game. It's mostly because of our roster numbers for Army. Just not enough confidence in those numbers to bet against Army. Ole Miss, Florida. Yeah, that's now moved into a place that is actually bettable for us. It's continued to go up to now 13. Pretty much all moves this morning. Dart, I think, is going to be in this game. I don't know if that's why it opened a little bit staggered in the week, and now we're sitting here at 13. We haven't really seen any price ceiling here. 13, it's pretty much got there unabated. So that's a little bit disturbing. I did go ahead and take a 12.5 last night. Now, obviously, sitting at the 13s, but we make this number 9 in favor of Florida. Florida quarterback play, I think we're getting one of the more, Lagway playing is obviously an upgrade from their third string. This team has overperformed. I went ahead and took the position. It's marginal, and you're really just fading the market, which is not really great. You really don't want to be fading a market this mature. All right, YT, let's get the questions going, guys. Let's get the question. What do you guys want to talk about over here? I'm happy to share any of the forecasts. UTEP is shocking the world today. Is UTEP the one that plays Tennessee? I think that they are Tennessee. Yeah. We make the number 40.5. 42s early in the week would have been a good nibble, but not now. Is App State on this? Yeah, every team is on there. But it's known in CFB that taking an undefeated team is a double-digit dog is one of the best bets. Investacard, I don't know what that means. It's known to who? To who? You're profitable. You've been making money. You're gonna pay taxes on sports betting. You're betting more than $25 a game. I don't know that that's quote unquote known. Or maybe you're being facetious. Arkansas today, I think it's a bad bet. I think you're way overpaying. 23.5 is way too rich. We make this number 18.5. When we regress to the market, we make it 22. It's a big stay away. Any thoughts on Texas, Kentucky? I'm going to the game, trying to place a bet. Yes. So thanks for the question. Our model shows no value on that game. We're right on market. We make the number 21, market's at 20, no value for Kentucky or Texas. Rufus Peabody, a professional bettor, did give out that he has value on Texas, or sure, it shows value on Kentucky. I'm sorry. Those now are sitting at 19. So the market is kind of agreeing and is selling the move up to 20. So now 19's in the market, 18.5s. It looks like if you can get on. Yeah. So to me, it's a stay away, but but that there is some thoughts there on that. Kansas, Colorado, no value in that game. I will say there is some nuance to modeling that. Kansas is playing technically at a neutral site at Kansas City, which is about, I think, 40 minutes away. So we're modeling that in a more conservative way, where we're just saying they're still at home, playing at their home stadium. When we do that, we're right on market. If we do show this neutral site stadium, it does show a little bit of value for Kansas. Again, such a small sample size for playing in that new stadium. For me, it's better to have a more conservative approach here. So nothing for us. UNC, interesting. I don't even think North Carolina plays this week. Oh, they do. They play Boston College. We make this number -4, 2.5s in the market. We show this only covers about 51% of the time, so no value for us. No, I Notre Dame forecast is a little bit difficult for us. We're basically right on market. Nothing we're touching there. Iowa, Maryland under. Can't comment on the over/under. We are on Iowa there pretty much, especially now at the 4s. Now, this move with the quarterback technically, I think, moves it out of a play for us. Let's take a look. Yeah, we now make this number -7 for Iowa, regressing to a 4. But yeah, we have a worse number at 6. And this is mostly all movement because of the quarterback situation. Texas Tech against Oklahoma State. I'm going to tell you, our model likes Oklahoma State in this situation. We didn't bet it because Oklahoma State is basically they've just, I don't know what's going on there, but there's something going wrong with that team, and so we just stopped betting on them. Take Colorado. We don't show any value. TTU time. Texas Tech University time. In a league of their own. Finally, you added Vanderbilt to the list. Thank you for being competent. Finally. I'm not competent. I do appreciate that, though. Michigan State or Colorado? We were on Michigan State Purdue last night. They don't play each other. Where's Minnesota State? Minnesota State is not an FCS team, minus the points. We would not support a bet in that game. We show no value. We forecast no value on that game. We make it basically right on market. You find yourself not betting teams consistently losing ATS. No, we pretty much have a very short list. Oklahoma State, Kent State. And it's really just been Kent State all season. I executively decided to not do that. Oklahoma State has covered a couple of games for us, but it's just something is wrong. Something is wrong there, and so it's just stay away. Biggest underdog we took, probably +14 last night with Purdue. What about the Jets in the NFL? Lol. We were on them last week. That one was a heartbreaker. Vandy LSU. Our model leans in the direction of LSU, but no play for us. I'm just trying to find it really quick for you. Yeah, we're making this number +9. Yeah. It's just a stay away for us. Houston, Baylor. Houston, Baylor. Houston, Baylor. We make the number +9. Where's Illinois off the grid? I don't see them. Illinois, Rutgers. We at the 5K. Oh man, you guys, come on! You guys want to hang out and see the forecast? We got to get to 5K, guys. 109 people. That's easy work. Easy work. NDSU. Arkansas. Quincy. Let's get to 5K. Happy to go over. At 5K, I'll also give you what we're on this week. Couple late moves. Is Jamarcus still in here? Jamarcus, any thoughts here on why you think Miami is moving? This has now become in play territory for me. Same with Wake. A little late to the party, but I think I'm respecting the move. I was able to get a 24. This was at 25, now sitting at 23.5. But what's going on with that Florida move? I can't see any injury news other than Dart was questionable, now probable. So was the market just opening low on that? You play for Arkansas. I think you guys are going to have a tough day. I think you guys potentially only win by about 18. That's the median result. And if you play for them, that's even more. That's more of a reason we should be taking Louisiana Tech, guys. Before the game, this person's chatting with strangers on TikTok rather than getting in the zone. That ain't good. Purdue should not be that low. They should. Colorado or Kansas, neither. No value on that game. Maryland, Minnesota, and Houston are the plays. We are literally on every single. Well, we're on Iowa, and then I have a nibble on Penn State. Purdue should not be that low. SMU is a problem. Yeah, we're hoping they're not too big of a problem though. We're on Virginia Tech today. Virginia, not Virginia Tech. YT, let's get the chat going. Please do put in your comments. We can talk about any forecasts you want. Purdue should not be that low. All right, guys, let's get the comment. What else you want to talk about? What other games? Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. It was ASU BYU. Okay, let's get to 5K. Old Dominion. Jamarcus, answer my question about Florida. No play on Old Dominion. -1 is what our raw number is. We regress the market, make it 2. Thanks for the roses. Bama OU. Sure, let's get to 5K. What about Florida? What's the move? What's with the move to 13? We do not support this move. We are actually, I would say, fading the move. I took a position last night, 12.5. Obviously, wake up to the 13s. What am I missing? Lagway starting. The only thing I can think is this open low because of the Dart news and is now just getting to what it would have opened at. Did I miss insight on OSU? No, we can talk about it. We're getting to 5K and then we'll go. U of SC, South Carolina, I don't think plays today. South Alabama, South Florida, Southern Miss. South Carolina does not play today. Where's Miss? Did I miss you? Let's get to 5K. Auburn, Texas. Yep, let's get to 5K. I got a forecast for every game. I'll also give you what our model plays are. USC plays Warford today. I don't believe so. I think USC, I think, plays UCLA. I'm pretty certain of it. Yeah, they do. Why Notre Dame so high? They played nobody with a pulse at all. Yeah, Texas A&M may make the college playoff. No pulse. Beat them. No pulse. Bunch of ACC teams. No pulse. All right, guys. 4K. Come on. Teamwork makes the dream work. Let's get there. Come on now. You guys want winning plays, 55% college model, 53% NFL model. We actually use data and we actually win. Baylor versus Houston, who you got? I got, once we get to 5K, I'll give you any forecast you want. Tulsa versus South Florida. I'll give you that forecast. As a Kent State grad, I'm upset. You should be. Y'all like Ravens tomorrow. I like to getting to 5K likes, and then we can talk about it. Illinois versus Rutgers. Yeah, 5K. We'll get to it. We'll get to all of it at 5K. If you're new here, consider giving us a follow. We are BTB Analytics. We use only data-driven methods. We are PhDs, doctors in economics and statistics. We use these things to make bets, quantify our edges, and win. Strength of schedule in the 80s, I believe. Doesn't 2-loss Notre Dame get in? 2-loss, probably not. They play versus Warford. They don't. They play UCLA. Very clearly, they play UCLA. Okay, 5K. All right, let's go. Gamecocks play today against Warford. They do. Warford. I see. We only have FBS versus FBS matchups. 5K. Auburn versus Texas. No play in that game. We make the number -2 right on market. Illinois versus Rutgers. Illinois versus Rutgers. No play for us. We make the number +1 Illinois. UT versus Indiana. They don't play each other. Indiana game today. Yes, no play for us. Now, you have an interesting market move with the injury news for Ohio State. Our raw model number here is 17.5. Regressing that back to the 10.5 that it's currently at, we would make the number 12. Our model would lean here in the direction of Ohio State. Not a play for us due to the injury news, and just not getting some key numbers that we would want to get. I think on the other side of the 9, we would probably end up playing Ohio State here. The biggest thing to watch out for here, in my opinion, is the talent difference. This is the 3rd overall most talented roster versus the 51st. You saw what happened when Indiana went up against the 16th most talented roster in Michigan, who is not good. Those are just better athletes, and you saw what happens. This is similar to Liberty versus Oregon. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be to that degree, but this is what happens when your middle-of-the-road talent play the top talent in the nation. It's hard for them to play like the number 1 ranked passing offense like they are, right? And when you start to do some talent adjustment, I think Indiana really struggles here. It's not an official play for us, so it's hard for me to kind of really, really lean into that, but I'd really be cautious there. Virginia, yeah, I think there's a steal here at the +11. I think you can maybe even get an 11.5 for Virginia. We're on a 10, so you can get about a 1.5 against us. I mean, mature market moves like this aren't really great to see, but yeah, it is what it is. I think there's potentially QB issues, maybe. With Virginia. SMU clears Virginia easy. Syracuse -10. Cuse. What are we on? Cuse, Connecticut -13. We make the raw number -23 for Syracuse. So potentially a blowout in that game. Maybe some opportunities for an alt. Maybe a 13.5, maybe a 16.5, 20.5. Those are all good alts you could play. What do you think about ASU BYU? No play in that game. We're pretty much right on market with that. BYU, we make the number -2. Notre Dame versus Army. No play in that. Our forecast for that game is basically a little noisy, just to be frank with you, and we're pretty much right on market. UCF, WVU. West Virginia does show some value. I'm thinking about grabbing that 3.5 over at BT. What was the answer to the Florida question, Jamarcus? Does GT give a chance against UGA? I don't know. Army, baby. Colorado versus Kansas. No play in that game. We're right on market. Iowa State, Auburn, right on market. Make the number 2. We are on Wisconsin. We have a +2.5. Market's now sitting at 1. We would still support a play on Wisconsin if we could. Why is Notre Dame there? Why are they not there? Duke versus Notre Dame, or Duke versus Virginia Tech. We're right on market, +4. A little bit of I would go under in Florida. Okay, so no insight on why this thing is moving so much to 13. I mean, open at 9, now at 13. That's a big move, and through some pretty interesting key numbers. Did you do Northern Iowa yet? Northern Iowa is not a FBS team. UTSA, they played last night, didn't they, guys? I don't have a forecast for UTSA, but I'm quite certain that they played last night. Oh, yeah, UTSA Temple, -17. But I'm pretty sure they played last night. Y'all ever buy points or half points? Not extremely rare. I would say we sell half points and points more than we buy. Actually, we only sell. We never buy. I don't think you guys understand. It's extremely easy to forecast a distribution of outcomes based off the closing line. You are almost never getting a price a correct price to buy through points. It just makes you feel better. You don't fundamentally link it to break even. So you think I'll move this and I'll lose less. You will lose less. But the problem is, will you win more, or will you win enough to overcome your new break-even price? You moving it from minus 110 to minus 120 just increased your break-even percentage by 2%. You need to now win 2% more than you did before. You now need to overcome a 4% house edge. You can't do that with your mental model. It's almost inevitably just impossible for you to do that accurately. Now, we will belt alts because our model has, we have some edge in the market left over. Like I said, that person's asking about Syracuse. We think Syracuse could really have a very big day. So we might sell points. We might take this at, 16.5 rather than the 10. We'll do that. We'll do that time to time. Sometimes I will. I'm trying to think. There's been a couple bets this year. Like a good example right now is West Virginia to me is a play only at 3.5. I wouldn't get the 3. So in the market there are 3.5s, and I'm willing to pay a premium for that 3.5. So like I'm willing to lay minus 115, maybe minus 120, but it's because I know what my cover probability is. I know what the probability of it happening is. So I might think that happen. I think that it covers 56% of the time at the 3.5, but it only covers 50% of the time at the 3. I bet all of UCF sub 3. You're welcome. I bet all of UCF sub 3. What the fuck does that mean? Sub 3. Oh, I bet all of UCF sub 3. He's saying he moved it. We're kind of against it. I really would only play that at 3.5. So I guess we could both win. Indiana 17 all over OSU. That's when we make the number. No, no way. You're not like, that's a horrible bet. Whatever you're laying to do that, you're just burning money. Vandy LSU, no play in that game. We're pretty much right on market. What is your best value still left on the board? The problem is here is adverse selection. Anything that's raised in value means the market's moved against us. Virginia would be the hallmark of that at 11.5. That's a pretty big move against us. We have played this at 10. Troy, that edge is now way eroded. We have like a 12 or something. It's now sitting at 8. NC State was a big play for us. We showed a lot of value in that game. That's kind of it. There's not as much. We were on Purdue last night. This Florida move, our model does not support. We make that number 9. So out of 13, it's just you're getting. Now, the problem is you're not getting a ton of key numbers, but yeah, it's hard. I guess West Virginia 3.5. I haven't played it yet, but I'm probably going to be. Still nada on ODU. Yeah, ODU we're just sitting at. We're right on market on that. So I don't have any opinion on it. I think my raw number for ODU is -1. Let me double check that for you. YT, let's get some questions in here, guys. Let's go. I'm happy to answer any game for you. Old Dominion. We're -1 is our number. -1 is our number. That's our raw number regressing to the market at this point is -2. Is that moved at all? Still sitting at 2. It's 3s. I guess only 2s at circa, 3s elsewhere. Do you think Western Kentucky is going to beat Liberty today? I know Roof has played Liberty. No opinion on that game for us. We're pretty much right on market. Liberty -1 is what we make the number. I really like Duke +3. What's your take? No, our model would lean the opposite direction, but no play for us. Under OS Indiana WV. I really like Duke, Liberty, under Indiana. We don't have an under over model. If I had to play the game, I'm taking Ohio State. Our model makes this number 17. Now you have the huge injury at offensive line. They're going to reshuffle the line. You're going to, that's it's really hard to quantify that, at least for our methods. Yeah, that's the only way I would be touching this. Georgia to cover 20.5 against GT next week. Don't know. BYU and Arizona State. No play in that game. We're right on market. We make the number -3. Best bet. I'll ride with you. Seems like you're a good dude. Bobby, just give us a follow. We just posted the full card today. We don't do best bets. It's not a thing. Texas -20 or Kentucky totally today plus the points. I don't know. I have no opinion in that game. Rufus professional bettors on Kentucky. Market is now moved to 18.5, so that's not a really good move for you. You already just lost like 1.5 of value, so I don't know. I'm staying away. Cal Stanford. Yeah, thanks for talking me out of that Stanford bet, Jamarcus. Last week, 20-point dogs. We made the number 8, and they won outright. Cal, Stanford. We make the number -15 for Cal. Market is right at 14.5. No value. Tulsa. All right, let's get the likes going, guys. Let's get the likes going. Remember, I give you value that I spend thousands of hours developing for free. You got to give me likes, or this don't work. This don't work. Winning ain't free, my friends. Tulsa, South Florida, 17. That's what our number is. West Virginia to UCF. We would lean and probably will take a position in UCF, but only at the 3.5. Only at the 3.5. Ravens game? Sure. I think we make the number 5, but let me double check that for you. Raymond, Florida Ole Miss. Sorry about that. We would support a play at 13. I actually went ahead and took a 12.5 last night. It's ugly. I don't really know what the move is all about. What my hypothesis is, because Jackson Dart was questionable, I think this opened a little light, and now because he's confirmed, is now basically getting to what the open should be, because this opened at 9, so now sitting at 13. Now look, betting into a mature market like this is tough to make money. I try to avoid it where I can. It's just a little bit too much value for me. So I actually played I have a 12.5. I think you can get a 13 readily. Ravens -5. It's a 1.4% edge to take the Ravens. Stay away for us. We don't play anything with at least 4% edge. So for us, it's a stay away, but there is some value there. What about Pitt versus Louisville? Okay, let me take a look. My father was a betting man. He got myself a steady hand. What other games on the YT you guys want to talk about? I want to show you guys some love. Thanks so much. If you give the video a like, that would be helpful. Pitt, you asked about? Pitt. Louisville and +9 for Pitt. Minnesota upsetting Penn State. I don't think so. We're not on officially Penn State. I went ahead and bet it. Our model raw model number really likes Penn State here. Markets basically stayed right at the 11.5 all week. We make the number 19. So I played an 11. I think I have 11 -105. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I preferred to play that over Indiana. I think with the Ohio State injury, it's a little bit tough, a little bit more margin, like I said, for our raw number. So I went ahead and played that, but I would really lean in the Ohio State game. Virginia, it's adverse selection. We played a 10, showed a lot of value, still show a lot of value at 11.5 for Virginia. I think there are a number of injuries, though, to be watching out for. So just be cautious there. CU versus KU, no value for us. It's difficult to forecast accurately the effect of this neutral site that Kansas plays at. So we're conservative. We're just calling it a home game for Kansas. When we do that, we make it right on market. UCF, no play in that game. Western Kentucky. Do you have a professional experience in sports or broadcasting? No, I'm not. I'm never a professional athlete, and I have no experience in broadcasting. Alabama, Oklahoma. Yeah, one I want to play, but just didn't get there. We make this number minus 20. Raw number regress to the 14. We make this 15. Just not enough value for me. Maybe even at the 13.5 earlier in the week, there was no play there, which I was surprised about. You pretty much need to get this number to a 16, which means we would need to make the raw number 21. So our model would lean in the favor of Oklahoma. But now that it's at 14, it's for sure just a stay away. You're just hoping you get that extra possession, right? And I mean, you're probably going to push a lot here, in my opinion. But Oklahoma's been frisky enough on defense that I don't know. Is this the game you really want to take position on? Could be. I think there are better bets to make. Texas Tech, OSU. Our model leans in the direction of Oklahoma State. It's not a play for us. Oklahoma State, there's something wrong with that team. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to quantify what's going on. So it's just an avoid the game. Iowa, Maryland. We are on Iowa. We have a -6 now at the -4 is a little less of a play. Also, you really don't know what you're buying from a quarterback standpoint, Raymond. Cade McNamara now out. They're down to their third string. Now, if there's one team that's used to not having a quarterback, it's probably Iowa. But I think this Iowa team is different in that they were actually clicking on and humming on offense a bit. So it's a little bit hard for me to recommend it. But that's where we're at. Indiana winning today? I don't think so. Iowa, Maryland, outright winner. Iowa, Arizona Wildcats. Arizona, TCU, we make the number +12 for Arizona. Please state your qualifications to be speaking about sports. Well, I'm not really speaking about sports. I'm really speaking about forecasting and making models to then wager on those. I have a doctorate degree and a master's degree in health economics. I'm a full-time economics and health outcomes researcher. I have I've completed a postdoc in economics. I've taught at multiple universities in statistics and economics. I am a peer-reviewed author in the field of health outcomes of at least 30 published peer-reviewed abstracts and papers. I've been doing health economics and outcomes research for about a decade. So that is what makes me qualified to talk about this. Notre Dame, don't see Arkansas, Ohio State by a lot. Raymond, is it Raymond? Raymond's here and there. I don't know. I don't think so. The answer is kind of. Our model's 17.5 is the raw number. And a lot of the times we will believe the raw number. This is a situation where it's tough because of that injury at offensive line, where you kind of want to pump the brakes a bit because you know that there's going to be a reason why you might not be able to move the ball in the same fashion that you would have with a healthy offensive line. So because of those reasons, I would stay away, but there is some credence that would support this a bit. Thoughts on SMU? We're on Virginia today. Market disagrees. I do think there's some pretty key injuries for Virginia. It looks like potentially quarterback injury. These things all kind of bubbled up late in the week. So we're on a 10. You can get an 11.5, but I would say that's a little bit tricky. ASU, no value on that game. We're right on market. We make the number -3. Market's at 3.5. Actually would not lay the 3.5. I think it's a bad play no matter what side you're on. If anything, you had to pick right now, plus 3.5 is probably the side you'd have to play if you were trying to be price sensitive, but I think you're just guessing. So do you have it winning the Natty? I don't have anybody winning the Natty. Is there value with Syracuse -10? There is a teeny bit, I believe. No. We show this covers about 50.8% of the time. You're laying -110, which is 52.38 break even. ATS win percent year to date is about 55%. It's 71 and 58 and 1. Which is verified through the Picket and BetStamp, which are linked in the link description if you want to verify independently and not take my word for it, which you should not, because pretty much every person you're going to ask that's on here is going to tell you they're winners. Thoughts on Baylor? No play. We don't show any value on that. We're right on market. We make them number 9, 50. Actually, at that 7.5, Amaro really doesn't like that 7.5 number. So I had to stay away from me. Texas, stay away from me. We're right on market. I know professional sports better Rufus Peabody is on Kentucky. This is now moved to 18.5. Hawkeyes, we're on the Hawkeyes. It's gross, especially with no quarterback. But if there's a team not used to having a quarterback, it's probably them, right? All right, guys, we got 20 minutes before kick. What do you guys want to talk about? What do you want to talk about? YT, what games do you want to talk about? I'm also live here on the TikTok, but happy to answer any questions here as well. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. We got it today. Shout out. I don't know what that is. FSU, we don't forecast FCS matchups. Thoughts on Rico Knows? I don't know who Rico Knows is. Oh, I think I do. I think he's a huge fraud. I blocked him like a year ago. He just has an opinion about everything. I just see no reason why he'd be able to be a professional sports bettor in all of these different markets. I mean, that's the thing you see with touts is somehow they can forecast accurately every single market. I cannot tell you how difficult it is just to win in one or two markets. To be able to say that you have an edge in every professional sports betting market, and again, they're markets. Remember, this isn't a Vegas character like you've been led to believe. It is like a market, just like a stock market. That is why you're seeing the price move. It's by other professionals betting it. All of the market is shaped by professionals buying and selling. And so it's very improbable that someone knows enough and has the skill set enough to be able to bet all those markets. And then you add that he's just doing that with a mental model. It's like the probability of that is close to 0 in my mind. Stone Cold win today. I don't know what that means. Colorado, Kansas, no play. We're right on market. -3, +3 on both sides. UConn plus the points. Now, I would stay away from that game. Our model would lean in the direction of Syracuse, but no play for us officially. But we show some pretty big upside with Syracuse. Boise State, Wyoming. Interesting. I haven't talked about that game. We're right at market. 22. Right at market. Mizzou. I think Mizzou might play an FCS team. If they do, no forecast. Oh, Missouri plays Mississippi State. We make this number 11.5. Covers about 50. Actually, no, we do not like covers about 45% of the time. We do not like that move from 8 to 9. We make this number 9. You can get an 8. It's just not a high probability play. Indianapolis, Ohio State, or Indiana, Ohio State. No play. Our model heavily leans in the direction of Ohio State here. Mostly a much more talented roster for Ohio State. Do not be shocked if you see a blowout. Now, the reason we don't have a position has to do with the offensive line injury. I think it is a big enough injury to stay away, especially for us and how we quantify our edge. The margin is it doesn't blow off the page because we do take a market into account. Ole Miss, Florida is another opportunity for me to fade Ole Miss. I've had a varying luck with this, but the market is, I think, overextended here. 13 is too much. Pitt, Louisville, we would show no value in that game. This guy never takes his side or says both sides. No, laugh more. That's what you fail to understand is you think that you can just have edges in every game and that you don't think you're betting into a sports betting market. And so it's improbable that I have an edge on every single game that you guys asked me about. In fact, we only have about 7 plays this week. But that's why I pay taxes, sports betting, and you lose money, right? So only one of us wins and only one of us loses, and yet you think it's money. You think it's funny. I think it's funny that you're broke. Do you ever cover over-unders? We don't have an over-under model, no. Colorado State, no play or Colorado State. Colorado State, Fresno State, right up market, 3-3-3-3. You say you like one side, and then 5 minutes later you say like another. I don't. That's not true. All good. Laugh more. You should take your own advice. You should pay attention more. Who you got winning it all? Don't have a play. Early positions in the preseason were Penn State and Alabama. Penn State getting crushed by ESPN. Do you agree with the commentary? I don't know. What are they saying on College Game Day? I don't know what the commentary is. So Colorado Buffaloes, no play. We're right on market on that game. So no value there. Do you have any servers or accounts in sports betting? Great work, by the way. Do you have any servers or accounts in sports betting? I don't know what that means, BI. Like, I don't know what that means. So I don't know how to answer it. If you could give me some context, happy to answer the question. I appreciate the positive words. Miami Wake, yeah, the market. We showed some value late yesterday through that 24 move. So I went ahead and actually took a position at plus 24 minus 107. I probably wouldn't touch it at the 23s. But yeah, I mean, this thing opened at 25, moved through the 25, which is probably where you wanted to get it. But with the late move through the 24, which is somewhat of a key number, we went ahead and played it. I went ahead and played it. So do you run your model and then kind of base picks on who you lean or just blindly bet on model? Sam, so it's a little bit more complicated than that. So we run a model, get a raw number. We take that raw number, we regress that to the market. Now, because it's a market, it has more or less liquidity at different times, meaning when you're betting into the market right now, 15 minutes before kick, you're betting into the most mature market, meaning professionals right now, any game they want to bet, we can bet $50,000. At open, we can bet $5,000, meaning these lines currently reflect pretty much everybody's information in the market. So when you see a move this mature, you need to respect it more than a move that happens earlier in the week. So that being said, you then need to regress your number to the market. You take that regress number, we'll call that the truth. You then take the combination of the truth and what the market has to offer, and then you run that through a value framework. Meaning, if I make the number 15 and I can bet a 13.5, what is my cover probability? Then I take that cover probability, I subtract my break-even percentage, right? 52.38, which is minus 110. That's what the break-even is. And then we bet anything with only a 3% edge. Pretty much by and large, we take anything with a 3% edge. It is insanely rare that we don't bet something, especially at open. At close, we may not bet something because of an injury. And so that's why you'll hear me talk about a lot of leans, because maybe I only show 1% edge, or maybe I show 0.5% edge, or maybe because of those key numbers in the value framework, maybe it's still, even though there's a delta, like the team we think will win by 1 or 2 points different than the spread, it's still actually not a good bet from a cover probability standpoint. So we quantify all of our edges. I think that's the most important thing. Quantification of edges, that is the hallmark. And there's basically only one team that's 100% no bet, and that's a Kent State. Kent State is 100% no bet for our group, period, point blank. We will never bet on them ever. Good job breaking down the math down. Thanks. No problem. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it, Sam. Yeah, if you guys are interested, consider giving us a follow. We're the real deal, Holyfield. We have background in trading in this. We don't BS anybody. You can literally verify our pickets directly from, or our records directly from Pickett, BetStamp. We track everything fully transparent. You can go to our website. You can see our own log of it, but you can verify that log. We are who we say we are. We have no nefarious activities. We are actual professionals. And so, yeah, we're probably much different than you're used to, especially on this app, but that's what we do. Only analysts that respect Indiana, great source. I wouldn't respect them in this game, but I don't have a play, so it's hard for me to kind of talk my stuff. I'm on UNC. Fade me. No play in the UNC game. UNC BC, no play in that game. We make the number -3 for North Carolina. Auburn, right on market, -2. All right, guys, I'm going to log off here in 3 minutes. So let's get your last games in. I will give you any game you want. Let me go over what we are playing just so you have it. We were on NC State plus 9.5. That covered. We are on Virginia plus 10.5. Purdue plus 14. Troy plus 11.5. Wisconsin plus 2.5. Iowa -6. That was what we gave out to our clients. And then as of last night, I went ahead and took a position in Florida plus 12.5, which now you can get a 13, and Wake plus 24 -107. I probably will also end up taking a position here for West Virginia, assuming I can get it. Only at a 3.5. Which, yeah, it looks like I can get still. So I will take that. All right. Any last questions? Any other games you guys want to cover? Going once, going twice. Yeah, if you're interested, go to the website. BTB-Analytics will have the full thing. You can get all the different variables. Kansas State. -11 is the model. Colorado changed. Has Colorado changed? Since when? Like ever? Yes. Since last week? No. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and wishing you all the best on your Saturday, and I will talk to you all very soon. Take care. All right, guys, take care. I hope you all have a wonderful Saturday.